Today I am reviewing one of the newest and, in my opinion, one of the most exciting drones available, the Mavic 2 Pro. In this video I will share my experience, answer some of your questions that you all have asked me, and of course I will be sharing photos and videos that I've taken with the drone, and even a comparison to the original Mavic Pro. Now members, I've got a 60-minute version of this review that includes so much behind the scenes footage of what it's truly like to go out on an adventure with this drone with me. If you're not a member, I mean, why not? You can click the join button or the link in the description below to find out how to join. My members are the ones that keep the lights on and my battery's charged, so I make sure to thank them by sharing lots of behind the scenes videos and extra images and such. Okay, in case you are new here or haven't watched all of my videos in the nearly 9 years that I've been making them, let me give you some background to help you understand where I'm coming from. I am a photographer and I create videos on YouTube about all sorts of photography. I also hike, bike, run, and pretty much anything else that I can figure out to do outside. So at some point in my last 9 years, I've started to create adventure videos where I bring you along to try to create the feel of a particular adventure. And this is where the original Mavic Pro came in for me. I wanted new and interesting angles to mix into my videos, and I needed to be able to hike or to bike with the thing. I've had the Mavic Pro for about 1.5 years, and I have used it quite a bit for my videos. Now, I didn't come from an extensive RC or drone background. I'd flown some inexpensive toy drones for fun, but I did come from an extensive photography and videography background. Okay, let's get into it. This new version in the Mavic line certainly has enhancements, which I'll talk more about, but I was pleased that they have kept certain things the way they were because it, like its predecessor, is a very easy drone to fly and to capture great images with. When I picked up the Mavic 2 Pro, I just didn't feel like I was a first timer. I wasn't relearning how the controls are or even how to put the propellers on. I pulled this guy out of the box, I knew how to set it up and how the controls work, so I was ready to fly. So, drones like the Mavic are fun overall, but I use them for one reason, the camera. So that's where we're going to start. This is an entirely new camera for the Mavic. It's made by Hasselblad and it has a 1-inch sensor, like many of the advanced point-and-shoot cameras and some mirrorless interchangeable lens cameras, like my little Nikon V1 here. This is a significant upgrade, and if it weren't for the camera, I'm not sure I would have bought this drone. But when I saw that the camera had gone to a 1-inch sensor, they had me. Now, I should mention here that the Mavic 2 Zoom still has the smaller sensor camera on it, though now it does zoom, which is super cool, but the larger sensor won the day for me. So what does that 1-inch sensor on this new Hasselblad camera mean? You get better photos and video in more conditions. Let me show you. Let's start with the still photos. They're incredible. They are 20 megapixel images, but that doesn't tell you the whole story. Now, like you could with the original Mavic, you can shoot in RAW or JPEG. The RAW files are DNG files, which means that you can basically open them up with your RAW converter of choice, since DNG is not a vendor-specific file format, and you can edit them to your heart's content. In this one, I was able to go from here to here. This is on par with many DSLRs and mirrorless cameras out there. Also, for the first time in a Mavic Pro, you can control the aperture. Now I've got control of the aperture, the shutter speed, and the ISO. I am a photographer used to being able to have full control over my settings, and that's what I like. Another benefit of it is the need for a neutral density filter is less likely. You may still want one for some effects, but the need for them is decreased because you can stop down now with the aperture. Okay, now let's move on to the video footage. You again can completely use an automatic mode, but you have the option of lots of settings control again. You can change things like white balance, so you have accurate colors. You have exposure compensation if you're in a mode other than manual. You can choose the resolution and the frame rate. Like the Mavic Pro, the Mavic 2 Pro will shoot 4K at up to 30 frames per second, but I actually like to shoot at 1080p at 60 frames per second. Also, like the Mavic Pro, you can shoot in D-Log, which is a flat color profile, which you would color grade later on in post-processing to suit your own preferences. You can make most of those settings changes on the Mavic Pro, but remember that now you're doing it with a better camera, so my footage looks better. I promise I will get to some of the other specifications, but the camera is the big difference here. The reason why most people would upgrade from a Mavic Pro to a Mavic 2 Pro would be the camera. I say most people because there are other improvements that make everything better as well. There are new features, stuff like that. We're all different and we all have different needs. There may be a certain thing that you were waiting for that really made you want to purchase the Mavic 2 Pro, but the camera, it was the big leap. On to some of those other cool features that are different. One thing that gives me more confidence out in the field with the Mavic 2 Pro is the number of sensors. It has omnidirectional obstacle sensing. That's a mouthful, but it means all the way around sensors to help the drone avoid obstacles. And it's really smart. The Mavic Pro had good sensing, but it wasn't all the way around the body like it is here. Now, as a rule, I don't fly in places where I have a lot of obstacles, but every once in a while, I want to get a low to the ground shot, or I want to use active track to have the drone follow me, which is improved in this, by the way. This omnidirectional sensing just gives me peace of mind. I can allow the drone to get closer to a tree or something, and I've found that I can trust the sensing to stop the drone before it gets hung up. Among the other improvements over the original Mavic Pro, the Mavic 2 Pro is quieter, it can go faster, it has better battery life. The quieter part is important to me because I don't like causing a disturbance, even if I'm in a remote area. Now, while this drone is definitely not quiet, it is quieter than the original. You can definitely tell. Now, the battery life, well, that's obviously a benefit. It's not a huge bump, but it has gone from 27 minutes to 31 minutes on a charge. I mean, when I'm flying my drone, I want to be up in the air, not bringing the thing up and down to change batteries, so I'll take a few extra minutes. And this guy is a bit faster than the Mavic Pro, and it has a longer transmission distance. Not that I ever actually even come close to allowing my drone to get that far away from me, but it's cool to have. Also, there is the hyperlapse mode that makes use of the better battery life. This is one feature that I haven't found a good excuse to use yet, but I know that there are a bunch of videos out there from other folks on YouTube. I am sure that I'll find a reason to use it, and I'll certainly share it. DJI did a great job on the controller for the Mavic Pro. It was so easy for me to use as a novice drone pilot a year and a half ago. I just picked it up and it was just easy to use. For the Mavic 2 Pro, they have improved the controls. The joysticks, they're just stickier, for lack of a better term. They're harder to push, which means that I have better control over fine movements, and I find that it is easier to maintain a constant speed while I'm filming. When I'm in the snow and my hands are really cold or I'm tired from a hike, that better control is a big deal. I also like that the joysticks can unscrew and tuck away so that they don't stick out in my bag. It just makes it easier to pack. And then one funny thing that I noticed is that the arms that hold the phone into place have a divot now so that I can swipe up on my iPhone 10 without unseating the phone. All of that amounts to better usability. Okay, I can talk to you about my experience with this thing and you can read all of the specifications, but I have a feeling that you would all like to see more of what this thing can do. So here is some gratuitous footage, and then I'll come back for a final word. Now there are 3 basic questions that I received from you all when this drone came out. Is it worth it to get a new one if you already have a Mavic Pro or maybe the Mavic Air? 2, which version of the Mavic 2 should you get, the Zoom or the Pro? And then 3, how is the video footage and still image quality? So let's summarize. If you already have a Mavic Pro like me, this could be a great upgrade for you if you want the improved camera, or if the hyperlapse or some other new feature really lights a creative fire under you. As for which Mavic 2 to get, the tipping point is image quality. If you want the best, go for the Pro model. If you're not totally set on that, or if like the dolly zoom feature got you excited, the Zoom could be for you. There is a relatively small price difference between the two, but it seems to me that when you are spending that much, the price difference isn't going to make a huge difference in your decision. And then the last question was about video and image quality. I can't say enough. It's incredible for being a tiny camera on a drone that I can fold up and carry in my pack while I'm running. Okay, now the final word. If it sounds like I'm a fan of the Mavic 2 Pro, I am. For one, I felt that the Mavic Pro brought portability, great flight control, and great images and video. For the Mavic 2 Pro, the portability is the same, the flight controls and dynamics are better, and the camera is much better. It's still a great drone for novice pilots, but it's great for more advanced pilots as well. I love it as a tool in my photography and videography bag. And you know what? I've come to love piloting it. It's just plain fun. Now, as I mentioned earlier, for channel members and those interested in becoming channel members, I take you 60 minutes with this guy during my review process. Channel members, head to the community tab for that video. VIPs and patrons, head to the link down in the description below. And everyone, I did just share a mountain biking adventure video yesterday. Check it out to see how I fit the drone into my adventures. Now, I know I didn't go down the specification list and address everything about this drone in this video. That would have been long and boring. I did find a cool table on DJI's website that compares the Mavic Pro, the Mavic 2 Pro, and the Mavic 2 Zoom. I'll link it down below. And if I've left you with any questions, ask away. I will do my best to answer all of them. Thanks for watching.